Who starts, me or you? Because I guess I'm the host. You're the executive producer. So I don't know who.
I'll let you kick it off.
Yeah. Well, season 2 is going to happen.
It's budget season, Stuart. As many folks know at the start. Well, I mean, my gosh, we're already at the end of Q1 2026, if you can believe it. The budget season came and went, and hey, you were approved for season 2.
There you go.
And I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Well, I like what we did, in season 1, and I think we're going to kind of broaden that scope a little bit for season 2. So I think the best way to describe it, or what I've been telling friends, what I've been telling potential guests and collaborators, is that in season 2, we're going to have 6 different stories about outer space connected through the theme of objects in outer space. And I think it's going to give us a chance maybe to broaden our scope a little bit and the kinds of stories that we tell. And I think while every episode will be standalone, it's not like a serial thing where, we're going to give you a cliffhanger at the end of one episode. There's still going to be that connecting thread of objects in space. And there's also going to be an arc where we end up talking about the future of space exploration, kind of with the idea that people and money are the objects in outer space. And I think it's going to ask some interesting questions. I think we're going to get some different perspectives, and we're also going to learn, about some pretty cool historical events as well.
I still love talking about season 1 of Crew Collective, and the reason why is I guess this isn't the first project you and I have worked on for sure. It's certainly one that I feel is, this is just my own opinion, might not be yours, but I feel like it's the one that is the most evergreen of things that we've put together. I guess you could argue 3 Clips also is that as well. But I love talking to people about it, especially in our vendors at Gravity Forms, at Rocket Genius, our partners, our customers, because it's not software and it's surprising to them. And I'm like, no, we worked on this thing, season 1 called Crew Collective. You can still listen to it. This isn't talking about like AI and Gravity Forms updates and like what's happening with WordPress. This is stuff that we put together interviewing other human beings and their, let's call it, art that they've created for space. If you're a space fanatic, this is a perfect series for you to listen to. Nice, easy, enjoyable, relaxing. It's conference season as well. All of the people who touch Gravity Forms in some way, shape, or form, whether they're an agency or a customer, can take this on the go with them to the conferences that they're going while they're traveling. So it's a great companion piece to that. And I love that about season 1, as the marketing person at Gravity Forms. And super excited to go from people who made things for space to things that go to space in season 2, because that starts to get a lot of people's head nodding when I start to tell them, like, oh, like we're not talking software. People are so shocked that we're not talking about software in our podcast series. But I love that connection where they go, okay, season 1, you interviewed people who made things about space, and season 2 coming is things that went to space. And they actually I can actually see the connection happening visually as they look at me to go, oh yeah, I get it now. Like you're creating something that's almost entertainment, but it's also educational at the same time. So anyway, I'm excited for season 2 and to be doing this again.
That's an interesting perspective, and I'll say I'm a little flummoxed by it, just because I think there is this perception out there that I think a podcast has to have some kind of utility to it, that it's got to have some kind of utilitarian purpose. If you're not learning something, if you're not, well, okay, you're going to learn something here, but I mean, if you're not like learning something specifically to your industry, if you're not, again, being updated on software products, if it's not someone telling you, how to flip houses or something like that, or how to, or something from a thought leader, it doesn't register to people that you can be creating stuff like that. And I think there's this whole other world out there of people making audio where there isn't really a utility to it. It's just these are stories that should be told, and we think we're the ones to tell them. And I like kind of bridging, like that we're bridging that gap. And it's weird. Well, I think what's interesting, Matt, is that we're working on kind of two different sides of the spectrum, where you're out here telling software people about this podcast that's part entertainment, part journalistic, and you're trying to kind of bring them into the fold there. And then I'm out here trying to reach an audience that maybe doesn't know what Rocket Genius is. It doesn't know what Gravity Forms is. And it might be that they're casually listening, and then, they hear about some of your plugins or hear about your product, and then realize, hey, we could be using this at my job. Let me share this with my boss. Maybe we can adopt some of Rocket Genius tools. So hopefully, we're bringing, I think, people from different different factions together and creating a listening experience that they'll enjoy equally.
Yeah, I mean, the space theme is obvious, right? When people hear Gravity Forms or Rocket Genius, like the whole, space thing starts to click. And this is why we've invested as a software company in this kind of content, right? In this kind of storytelling. By the time season 2 comes out, our new website, gravity.com, will be in full production. If it isn't, there's something really went wrong at by the time season 2 comes out. But gravity.com should be out in its new form within a couple of weeks, as the time that you and I are recording this. So, our connection to space and, representing that with our new branding is very important to us. But also that pursuit of doing more for our customers and exciting them, hopefully in some way that goes beyond just the software. This is an exercise in that, right? And a lot of folks who have followed our story for a long time, and I've told you this a million times, you're probably sick of me hearing it, but people who come see us at conferences love the T-shirts that we design and that we print for customers that we give away for free. It's always been something that has been like a tangible product that we've just given away at conferences, that over the course of 15 plus years being in this space, that people in our industry come to recognize. And I'm hoping that through season 2 and beyond, these same folks who come to Gravity Forms for something else, they'll see that through Crew Collective and some of the storytelling that we're doing. I know it's going to take time, but I hope that they do. And the reason why I have to spend time, what I'll call air quotes, selling it, is because people just don't expect any software company to do something that isn't like a utility piece of content. Here's our announcements. Here's how to do a thing. Here's how you can apply it to solve your solution, right? Mm-hmm. And then when I come to them and I go, oh no, this is about space and science and fun. They're like, wait, you're not trying to, I have to listen to this and it's not going to show me how to use your product. No, this is simply for the passionate person who either loves the storytelling side of what we're doing or the space side of what we're doing. And that's what we're hoping for. So it's fun, exciting, and challenging all at the same time.
So when I say objects in outer space, I think I'm going to go ahead and give everybody a little, not really spoilers, but some ideas of what we mean when we say objects in outer space. I mean, you could probably fill books and books upon the history of how certain objects came to be used in outer space. So don't think of this in any way as a comprehensive history of engineering and outer space or anything like that. Like I said, just think of it as a collection of stories loosely connected through this theme of objects in outer space. And I think by the time we get, towards the end of the season, you'll kind of have an idea of why we're structuring it this way. And I think in the first few episodes, I think you can expect to learn about a certain watch brand that was used in outer space, a powdery fruit drink that is almost an analog to astronauts being in outer space, cameras. Go back and listen to the first full episode we did in season 1, and I think you'll get an idea of what that might be. And then we're going to start moving in from there. We're going to start moving in towards the future of outer space. Is it practical for us to live there? How are we going to get to that point? How do you create an environment in outer space that would sustain not just a handful of astronauts up there doing research for 6 months, but colonies of people. And we're going to ask some big questions about that. I don't know if we'll have any big answers, but we're going to ask the big questions. The answers might be probably a little bit ambiguous, but that's kind of where we're going with that. And I think we're leaving ourselves some wiggle room right there in the middle. I think I have some ideas for what we're calling flex episodes, but I have some ways I'm working with right now to kind of bridge the gap between the two themes within the overarching theme that we're working with this season. And that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, obviously all this space stuff is one of those things that when you look at, movies, film, everything we just pretty much highlighted in season 1, when you look at space and like what can you talk about, I'm not going to try to steal a pun here, but it's vast and endless. Like there's so much that you can talk about, and there's so many people that are interested in so many things. I don't know, whether it is crazy space themed kind of music, the exploration of a rover on Mars, the people that go into space, what future humanity might look like in space. There's like a million topics. But what I like what we're doing with season 2, and why you've only hinted at some of the objects and not called them out by name, is these are just like things you don't often think of in space. Like that's why I am finding this interest. This is my own personal bias to the project, but like you never think of these types of these types of products or things that have gone into outer space before. And I'm excited to like unfold some of that story and tell some of that story through this season, because it's kind of cool. Like you're always thinking about like, I don't know, can I even say name brands in space? Like, is that a thing yet? But you're always, talking about different types of rockets and organizations and countries and space stations. And you think of these grand, very expensive things that have gone out there, and the totality of it all is just mind blowing. You're like, wow, it takes all of this to get somebody into space. And we're going to talk about these tiny little things that make a small little impact while they're up there, whether it's for the human or for the crew or, just for fun. Like it's going to be fun to, tell this story for season 2. Again, I'm just super excited for it.
And I think the other thing we're doing, I think, we'll kind of hint at it since the, ink is not on the paper yet, but I think we're really close, I think, to having this nailed down, is we're going to be working with a really cool musician who's going to, I think, make a custom theme song for us. And we're really excited about that. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time for a series. I think last year, with it being our first season, just wasn't the time to do it. But now that it's a little more established, we're going to have a custom theme song. And I think it's a really important thing to have with audio storytelling. And I'm really, really jazzed about that. I think we're probably going to start working on that here in the next 2 weeks or so, if I had to guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think you and I, again, have been working together for a while, and I'm always, I always love it when you get excited about the creative side of it, because I know that you'll be, you're super passionate about, all the projects that we work on, but it's always great to add that additional creative layer to the work that you're doing. It helps you put the story together better. In this sort of behind the scenes look that we're doing right now, again, there's so many people on the software side in the tech space of podcasting that we normally serve through that utility, where this stuff is overlooked, and dare I say, maybe not needed for that utility podcast that just needs to get you information and either educate you, entertain you, so you can add other layers to that, of course. But for the most part, it's like, let me show you how to do this thing with our stuff, and hopefully that solves a problem for you. Oftentimes, the creative side is overlooked, right? And I think that this will be yet another stamp on pushing the creativity from a software company creating an audio product. On the back end of this, I'm really trying to push the team to develop more tangible stuff for Crew Collective, for the Crew Collective brand. I'm trying to really isolate this Crew Collective from, obviously it's brought to you by Rocket Genius and Gravity Forms and our products. I'm really trying to isolate it so that it can stand alone, so that people don't have to just come from our universe of customers. And yeah, I really want to push for season 2, along with what you're doing with like the creative music side. But yeah, let's get some t-shirts made. Let's get some, fun material made, whether it's something tangible that we give away at a conference, or I'd love some kind of old school book pamphlet thing that people can actually order and get, maybe like some kind of poster that shows like what we did with season 1. Again, like I know I'm biased to the project, but we put a lot of work into the design aspect of cover art and the website, even our landing pages for show notes with featured images of the guests from last season. Like, really want to expand that experience, especially in the world of AI when everyone's just chatting with text these days and just getting their information from like a quick bot update. I want to be able to push Crew Collective into an area that has not only the audio experience that you're crafting, but in my point of view, like the visual experience of the website and other things we can give to hopeful fans. Our hopeful fans, hopefully us getting fans for Crew Collective. They're like, oh, I want that t-shirt. I want that poster. That would be really cool to push into that. And that's what I'm going to try to push into for season 2 from my side anyway.
Yeah, and Travis Tots, one of the other producers on this project, I know he's working up some pretty cool ideas to keep building off of like what we did last year visually. I think he had some pretty neat ideas when we all collaborated lately, and I think that's gonna be pretty cool too. I'm not really a visual guy myself, so I'm really excited to just kind of see what you guys come up with on that side of things.
I just had an idea pop into my head, but I'm not going to say it out loud.
Okay. Well, that's some good self-restraint there.
Yeah, we'll save it for maybe our late spring, early summer update.
Okay.
That we do.
Fair enough. But yeah, but outside of that, I think that's about all I have. I wish I could, say more specifically, but working around with some, like I said, some really cool ideas to bring all these stories together, and it's a long process. I think we're shooting for probably, a September or October launch date, so to speak. And between now and then, there's a whole lot that has to be done to bring this project to life. And
super excited, really pumped to be doing season 2 again. For those listening, go back, crewcollectivepodcast.com, listen to season 1. What's your favorite? You got some crazy idea for season 3? Do you think we should be somewhere? Because I don't know all of the spaces to be in for space type of content. If you're a space aficionado and you've got some place you're like, oh God, Crew Collective has to be showcased in this area because this is a hot space area, let us know. You can reach me at Matt@GravityForms, or go to crewcollectivepodcast.com. There's a contact page there powered by Gravity Forms. Drop us a message, and we'll be happy to take your advice or your pointers for anything space related.